The Srimad Bhagavatam always is offering us a proximity, very intimate. These are topics that are very intimate. These are topics that can be simply discussed by Paramahamsas, persons who can have a vision of the glories of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. The other day, we were reading one verse in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 18, where Lakshmi Devi glorified the supreme exalted position of the Vaishnavas. And it is really something extraordinary. For example, in the morning, we chant Shri. The lotus feet of Guru of the Vaishnavas, they are considered like the treasure house of the truth. It means that by the dust of the Vaishnavas, the feet of the Vaishnavas, we can obtain Krishna. We can obtain the highest goal. But it is very difficult for the conditioned soul to be able to understand topics like that. It is impossible. Because identification with the body means ignorance. And somehow, ignorance is a state of miserable condition. We see, for example, let us take the example of a pig. If you give warm stool or a cake with cream, he will prefer the stool. So according to the nature that we develop in contact with the three modes of material nature, ignorance, passion, and goodness, we have an attraction for this world, but not for the Supreme Lord. It is not possible. The attraction for the Supreme Lord starts on the Nirguna platform, the platform of transcendence. So we can say, these are the news, Swami. Never will be attracted to the Supreme Lord. The Acharyas explain that the anarthas, the undesirable things that do not allow us to see the Supreme Lord, they are just like clouds. And the sun, and Krishna is just like the sun. Surya Saman. Krishna is just like the sun. And these clouds, they do not allow us to see the sun. But Krishna is all-powerful. Everything exists by him and for him. Maya Dakshina Prakriti. The material nature is controlled by him. So he can, through a special mercy, momentarily take out the clouds so that we can see him. That's what we call Kripa. The mercy of the Lord. Even we are not qualified, even though we can have a glimpse of His glories. And this is from there that we desire to be with Krishna, not before that. So, how does it happen? Naturally, what is it? It's not necessarily that a devotee will see Krishna in all his splendor, but he will be able to be attracted one time to his glories. When he chants, he will be able to have a taste. He will be able, when he dances, to taste ecstasy, or the association of devotees, etc. There's all kinds of ways that these clouds, they move away. It's not simply the darshan of Krishna. To have the darshan is really rare, to see Krishna as he is. But Krishna, it is explained, Krishna, it is explained in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna comes in this age with his weapons. And in Chaitanya Mangal, it is explained that the Lord does not come to kill the demons, because everyone has this demoniac nature. Everyone has a spirit of a sinner. deviant, deviated. Everyone, they have sinful activities. They cheat. They steal. They make believe to others that they're full of humility, but they're full of pride. So automatically, if the Lord in this age would appear, not with a special mercy, He should kill the demons, because nobody has a good nature. This is why, when He comes with a particular mercy. And when the clouds, they move away, to give place to this mercy happens in all kinds of aspects. But through the Vaishnavas, through the persons who have qualifications, particular qualifications, who have devotion. This is why Lakshmi Devi, she, in this passage, she has some kind of envy towards the Vaishnavas, because Krishna, Narayan, explains that the Vaishnavas, they're even more dear to him than his own person, Lakshmi Devi. And still Lakshmi, she's constantly messaging the feet of the Supreme Lord. More than that, she says, although you give me a place on your chest as this mark of Shrivatsa, I think it is a cheating, because you're afraid that I am wrong, that I'm feeling bad. Because you give much more mercy to your devotees. And it is strange, because Lakshmi Devi is the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. And this verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that Lakshmi Devi is unstable. Srila Prabhupada gives this example. The materialists, they worship Lakshmi Devi, but not necessarily Narayan. They worship Lakshmi alone. But Lakshmi is never alone. She always accompanied with her husband. But because she's unstable, if you worship Lakshmi Devi, she can give you a certain wealth, but never completely. Because if you don't use this fortune for her husband, she will move away. She won't be satisfied. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains one point. When a materialistic person worships Lakshmi Devi, he worships in reality Durga, a partial manifestation of Lakshmi Devi. It is her that gives material wealth. But when the devotee wants material means to satisfy Krishna, so Lakshmi manifests herself and she's very satisfied. She stays stable, always in the house of the Vaishnavas. That's why in the house of the Vaishnavas, there's never any lack, there's always opulence. Look, for example. Look here, for example. Look, let us look, for example. A little class of grammar. For example, let us take this story with the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. One day, they didn't have the means to pay the gas. What happened? There were like money that fell from the sky. Bills fell on the floor and they took it. There's all kinds of stories like that. For example, here in this temple, we had a lack. All our activities stopped. Nothing was coming. But still money was coming even more easily. Why? Because it's mystical. In truth, Krishna make you work, make you do a service to maintain him. But he is the one who maintains. That's why we should put joy. It's not like a duty. If you think it's just a duty, you won't be there at some point. If you're not happy to do this, one day you won't be there. And Krishna will take someone else. But do not think you maintain the temple. Because even if all your services will move away, Krishna will maintain it. Because he's all-powerful. Because he's a person. Because he can act. He's not simply an energy. That's true. All the energies are coming from the Supreme Lord. But there are energies that are coming from Him. Krishna says, I am the basis of Brahman. It's really important to understand. There's this famous pastime in Chaitanya Mangal that is extraordinary. I think we shared it a few times ago, but it is special. One time Rukmini, she was with the Lord. And she told him like that because sometimes the devotees, they're even in separation. Because love is so much intense. Sometimes Radharani, she thinks that Krishna is everywhere. It's very powerful. Love is very powerful, spiritually. And it can then completely melt in lamentation, merge in lamentation. Even if Krishna is there, to reassure her, she thinks that Krishna is gone. Can you believe it? And only Radharani love Krishna in this way. Nobody can be a rival of Radharani. We say Chandravali, yes, but in reality Radharani herself, she manifests herself as Chandravali to have this competition. But Chandravali cannot be a true rival to Radharani. And so Rukmini, she said one sentence that shocked the Supreme Lord. She told him, "O Lord, you cannot understand the nature and the sweetness of your lotus feet, what a devotee can feel with your lotus feet. It is impossible." And we know that Krishna is the origin of everything. He is the origin of everything. He can know everything, but he is the one who receives worship. He is the supreme enjoyer. But he is not the one who offers the worship. And Rukmini, she said, if you want to understand the nature of your lotus feet, you must understand and that you take the position of the feelings of Srimati Radharani. And when Krishna, he absorbed himself in this idea, he manifested a similar form. The form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have mantras and Gayatri, and we meditate on the form of Mahaprabhu. This form of Mahaprabhu is when Krishna finally takes the position of Srimati Radharani, takes the feeling of Srimati Radharani. This is why the name of Vishvambar, the one who maintains everything, is proper. It is the feeling. It is when finally the mercy, it takes Krishna completely. And then he maintains everything. This is why we should have a special meditation for Mahaprabhu. Because Mahaprabhu, he can give us to receive perfectly his own lotus feet in his position as Krishna. He comes to give this taste, to allow for devotees to taste him. And why the devotees don't taste? It's because their attitude is not good. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he shared a verse, we know it well, Chinadapi Sunichena. He shared this verse that is very important. Without good proper attitude, there's no taste. That's why most devotees, they don't taste. It is simply an attitude towards your husband, towards your children, towards the devotees. There's no... You can, for example, have in the room all the devotees in ecstasy, and you can have 2-3 devotees that are there that cannot taste. It is only their attitude. Because if there's no proper attitude, we're sick spiritually. The awakening of taste the ecstasy cannot manifest itself. We cannot taste joy, so we cannot dance, we cannot move, we cannot be with everyone. And finally, we distance ourselves more and more, and we can even be angry towards those who dance, thinking, I would like to be peaceful. You understand, there's so much frustration. This is why it's not good. We must have a good attitude. Understand that when you are angry, you lose joy. And we see the devotees who are angry. They are never in ecstasy, never. They have a problem in their heart. And it hurts me, it hurts me. It makes me suffer. I want my children to taste joy, that they be in ecstasy, that they cry, that they smile. It's so wonderful. At least physically. Even if there's not this experience of the Svarup, of the eternal identity, at least with this body, that they may use it for Sankirtan, to glorify the holy names of the Lord. And this we must have a good attitude. Each time you become angry, you lose this proper attitude, you lose taste, it brings frustration, and anger takes over. And you're always angry, always angry, always. It's finished after that. After you're in a place that you cannot understand, you can do the arti every day. There's no taste, there's no realization. Because Krishna, you cannot see Him because of your heart. When we offer a ghee lamp, what does that symbolize? That means that our heart should melt, just like ghee, bhav. You should have feelings that we should offer, but someone who does not have the proper attitude, he offers a ghee lamp, he cannot offer his heart, because the good attitude is not in him, and it is the proper attitude that makes the butter melt, because it attracts the Lord, and the Lord is just like the sun, just like the fire, and the heart becomes like butter. And when the butter gets closer to the fire, what happens? Butter melts. And the Lord is attracted by a sweet, loving heart. It's very important. This is why analyze how you are. Already you're unhappy. You give unhappiness to others. You cover the Dham, the holy Dham, with a material covering. You don't allow beings to be attracted because your behavior, your face, etc., makes that it's not attractive. This is why we're not simply alone with ourselves. We're responsible of many things. We must progress. We must work on ourselves. We're there for that. We don't live at our home. We live for Krishna. And our service is to be loving and sweet. We have no choice, we must evolve. Even if we have like a sweet nature, we must work on ourselves. You know what are the harsh people? It is, for example, we'll see them, if you have a good nature, I will leave. They never want to work on themselves, never. Never. What will we do? What will they become? If they leave, what will they become? They will simply be angry towards the devotees life after life. The solution is not to say, I'm leaving. The solution is, I will change. I will work on myself. I will listen to my spiritual master. This is why we all have a harshness in the heart. Don't think we just think about someone specifically. We all have some harshness in the heart. When you think someone is hard, you are hard yourself. When you think a person is hard, that means you're hard yourself. So you can understand that you already have this harshness in your heart. Certain manifest it. They have the courage to manifest. Others, they hide it because they want to pass for saints or good devotees. I heard the Vaishnava said we have to be happy. But still they're full of material desires. They can dance, but they're full of desires. So there's all kinds of ways to have a purity in the heart. But if this harshness persists, at some point it becomes dangerous. because we will be clashing with everyone, and we becomes in a place where our life makes us suffer. We should. I remember Guru Govinda Maharaj. I went to many of his classes, and he had this cane like this, and it was someone who was screaming a lot. And someone he was scary. Everyone was there. He will fall on my head, it would be my turn. And he would look at them, and then all of a sudden he would chastise someone. You? Are you drowning in the ocean of prema? Are you drowning in the ocean of prema? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to drown everyone, and you don't drown yourself? So we need that a little bit. And it will be on someone's case. It could be at 15-20 minutes in front of everyone. It was a shower. After, you don't show yourself too much. You don't show off. So, even if it would be uncomfortable, it was really, really nice, because we found ourselves in this situation where, for example, if there was a big fosse going us, we were thinking, it won't be easy. There's 2 days left with Maharaj. And when he came to the Paris temple, it was trembling. Even before he came, some had problems. I remember. But finally, those who are sincere, they appreciate to be chastised. When we're chastised by Vaishnavas, we have coverings of ego that move away. It's very powerful. It's very extremely powerful. The Vaishnavas, sometimes they are very hard, heavy. And when I say heavy, it's really heavy. It's not heavy in a way. It is just like gangster, but they're gentlemen. But they take you, they chastise you in a way that is particular. It's very particular. When they don't accept something, they don't accept, and they cry. So it's not easy. We could think that saints, they will be good on everything, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. But if we have humility, and most of all, if we desire the goal of existence, which are the lotus feet of Krishna, which are offered by the divine service of Srimati Radharani and her servants, so we will naturally understand in our heart what the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas represent. We will pray to have this mercy. So when we speak about Vaishnav, we speak about qualified Vaishnavas, really qualified. Those who have lotus feet, that means they have a transcendental form. Persons who can truly understand what is the sweetness of the lotus feet of Krishna. Then this attachment will naturally give the proper attitude. The experience to be attached to the Vaishnavas brings a lot of humility. When we are not attached to the Vaishnavas, we don't have humility. Because attachment means I want to please him. And what pleases a devotee is that we have a good behavior. This is why, even if we're a big, like a mad person with a big club with nails, then if a Vaishnava gives you the mercy, we become gradually very sweet. We can taste humility, a humility that is very astonishing. We can find ourselves, by the remembrance of a Vaishnava, completely transformed. It's very powerful, the remembrance of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava. we can feel ourselves completely transformed. But who can taste this? One who is chaste, one who is really abandoned, surrendered. Not someone who will always see faults in the spiritual master. Someone who can, by a special mercy, perceive the internal nature of the Guru. Because surrender is possible when there is faith. Surrender is possible when there is absolute trust. Otherwise, it is not realistic. We cannot realize it. So Krishna made the arrangements to reveal internal aspects of the Guru so that the disciple have faith. Because without this, how can we surrender? With what we only see with the material eyes. The eyes are imperfect, and nobody in this world can act perfectly. It is impossible. Everyone can find that. Because we all have a conception of life that is different. But when Chaitya Guru, Krishna in the heart, he helps a disciple to see the beauty of the lotus feet of Guru, he finds himself on a plane where everything is pure, where everything is perfect, and he can really have an experience of perfection and devotion. And it is with this remembrance that he can surrender himself. Otherwise, it is not possible. We saw in the past. I remember I had a fate. I was in Mayapur and I went to the name, a spiritual master who fell down. He had many disciples. He had 500 disciples that were accompanying him. He was about to give a class and one was worshipping with special care, like he was the Mahabhagavat. And when I saw this person, I felt in my heart that he was not a pure devotee. He fell down 6 months later, and all the disciples after, they left. Because when we cannot have this internal revelation naturally, it means like the disciple needs a qualification. It's not that the Guru is not qualified, but if the disciple is not qualified, even if he has a wrong attitude, even if he's connected with a qualified Guru, he won't have a true surrender. But if the Guru is not qualified, the surrender cannot be perfect also. So when surrender is not perfect, so we can leave someone, even if he is qualified. We can leave the Sankirtan movement. If this person will have fallen, then she will be gone. So what do we worship? Krishna is the Guru, original Guru. In Mangalarti, for example, we worship our Guru Parampara, but we also worship Krishna as the Guru. Krishna is, he never fall down. The Guru, Haridas Thakur says that in the Harinam Chintamani that the Guru can have problems. We should never forget that the Guru can also be purified and put back on the right path by Krishna. That's why Krishna says even if he does the worst of things, a Vaishnava, he should never be criticized, because Krishna can purify him and very quickly. The principle of Guru is that Krishna uses a person to engage you in the service of Krishna, because on our own, we cannot engage ourselves. We're engaged through a disciplic succession. The orders must come down from up. Krishna, he accepts the service through the spiritual master. And this is why we need the Guru. Because on our own, we are not situated on a plane of the truth. We can do karma, pious activity, but we cannot serve Radha and Krishna in an immature level. But through the Guru,
c'est comme l'intermédiaire
it is just like the transparent medium. We serve Radha and Krishna, and gradually, when purity comes by through the service, so the service is realized.
Ce n'est pas
It is not.
Si on est vraiment sincère, cette action, elle va devenir pure.
If we're really sincere, this action will become pure gradually. The result will be Radha and Krishna.
C'est pourquoi,
This is why,
même si
even
un gourou n'est pas qualifié et qu'il
if a
part,
guru is not qualified,
c'est pas grave.
then even if he leaves, we won't lose our faith. We take another spiritual master. It's not a problem.
Malheureusement,
Unfortunately,
les gourous
the gurus
sont,
who are,
entre guillemets, un peu
how to
charlatans
say, a little like cheater
et qui se font passer pour des purs dévots.
and
Ils
do
sont pas
pass for pure devotees, but they are not.
Ils amènent leurs disciples comme une prison.
They bring the disciples like in a jail.
Jamais ils leur
Never.
parlent de ça.
They speak to them about that.
Il a dit, reste avec moi,
He said, stay with me,
sois mon esclave.
be my slave.
Je suis pur,
I am pure,
etc.
etc.
Donc, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
So what
Il se
happens?
passe que
What happens is that the
si le
disciple,
gourou, il tombe,
if the guru falls down, he moves
il a
away
senti qu'il s'est-
because he felt he was cheated.
Vous comprenez?
Understand?
Et c'est la plus grande tricherie. C'est
And this is the greatest cheating.
toute une vie, vous ne pouvez pas faire.
Even in a whole life, you cannot do otherwise.
C'est pour ça que
This is why
tous ces gourous-là,
all these gurus
qui étaient des-
who make us believe they were pure devotees,
alors qu'ils n'étaient pas qualifiés,
but they were not
quand
qualified,
ils ont rencontré des problèmes.
when they met problems,
Pourquoi? Parce que lorsqu'on dit
because when we say that we're pure and that we're qualified, often
que
it is because we lose the shelter of the guru,
propre maître spirituel,
of our own spiritual master. Because as long as we are a servant, we take the shelter of the guru. You understand?
quand on se met au même
When
niveau
we are on the same level
gourou,
as the guru,
notamment Prabhupada pour ce
let us say Prabhupada for those I keep speaking about, so then we lose the shelter and gradually we become proud and these material desires, they come back again.
Et qu'est-ce que font ces disciples?
What the disciples do,
Ce gourou-là,
who follow this guru, naturally when guru moves away, they move away also.
mais jamais un maître spirituel.
Whenever a spiritual master, he says that, what does he say? He said, I'm a cheater. He is qualified. I am not qualified.
Mais mon gourou, il est parti.
But my guru, he left.
Il m'a demandé de faire
So
ça.
he asked me to do
Je vais
that.
le faire.
So I do it under his
Moi, je ne
name.
peux pas prendre sa place.
But I cannot take his place.
Prabhupada disait quoi?
Prabhupada was saying what about Bhaktisiddhanta? He was saying the grandpa is more merciful than the father, the grandfather.
Indirectement, il disait
And directly he was saying,
Bhaktisiddhanta
Bhaktisiddhanta will give you the mercy.
il s'est mis au même niveau, parce
Never he put himself on the same level of Bhaktisiddhanta.
que lui, c'est un réel gourou.
Because he was a real guru.
Et bien sûr, il pouvait, parce que
And of course he could, because Bhaktisiddhanta is an Nityasiddha. Prabhupada also is an Nityasiddha. They are games.
Après, c'est possible,
After it is possible
se rend compte
that the
aussi
disciple,
que le maître spirituel,
he realizes also that the spiritual master is not qualified, he will look for another guru because he wants to have a qualified guru. Everything is possible.
mais
But
un disciple intelligent,
an intelligent disciple, never
parce qu'il a
he leaves
l'expérience.
Krishna because he has the experience of Krishna.
Il a l'expérience du gourou.
He has the experience of the guru.
Le gourou, c'est large.
So the guru is large
Transcendantal,
because in the
vous avez
transcendental
aussi
world,
des leaders,
you also have your
vous avez des
leaders,
amis,
you have your
vous avez
friends,
plein de gourous dans le monde.
you have all kinds of gurus in the
C'est possible
transcendental
que vous
world.
ayez même plus de connexions
It's
là-haut
possible
que
you'll have even more connection up there than here. It depends on your previous life. Everything is possible. The idiots, they don't understand this. They don't understand a devotee who was already qualified from previous lives. He already has a connection up there. And the guru who gives him initiation, he already has the holy name in his heart, the pure name. He doesn't even need the guru because already in his previous lives he was qualified. He accepts the guru because this is the nature of the Lord, to do a play with his devotees. But a Vaishnava never, he will fall down. Even if he sees his own spiritual master, who is discouraged, his fate is fixed because he has the experience. Why? Because he has the proper attitude. If there's the proper attitude, there's experience. If you see something, you cannot say you didn't see it. If you tasted something, you cannot say you didn't taste it. If you heard something, you cannot say you didn't hear it.
Oh, le doute, c'est quoi?
What is doubt?
C'est quoi le doute?
What is doubt?
Quand t'as pas vu,
When you didn't see, when you didn't hear,
quand t'as pas goûté,
when you didn't touch, you didn't
tu sais pas
taste.
si c'est vrai.
You don't know if it's true.
Donc tu peux t'en aller.
So you
Tu
can
dis que
move
tu
away.
pars.
It's just a question of time. You can leave. True or not?
Tu penses que tu peux pas t'en aller?
You think you cannot leave?
Ben, si tu penses ça, tu peux être humble.
So if you think that, you can be humble.
Prabhupada disait, on doit
Prabhupada was
avoir peur de
saying, we should be afraid of Maya.
Maya est puissante.
Maya is
Elle peut
powerful.
vous amener
She can take you
exactement ce qui veut vous faire tomber.
exactly because she wants to make you fall down. For a man, for a woman, she looks perfect, everything, and then it's finished.
Pensez pas que
Don't think you cannot fall down. It takes 2 seconds.
2 secondes pour s'en aller.
2 seconds to move away from the
On voit
temple.
même, il y a des
We see even there are devotees. They do service in the temple.
c'est le contrôle.
As soon as the Mataji passes, then they are in their mind.
Et il faut prier pourvu qu'elle
And you must pray, oh, I hope she leaves.
troisième.
A second, a third, and it's difficult.
Donc, tu dis,
And you say,
donc, si on n'est pas abandonné,
so if we're not surrendered, it doesn't work.
Prabhupada dit, celui qui
Prabhupada says the one who takes shelter in Krishna,
Krishna peut le protéger.
Krishna can protect him. Otherwise, it's not possible.
Il y aura toujours une créature.
There will always be a creature to hypnotize you.
Il y aura toujours quelqu'un qui est beau.
There will always be someone more beautiful than you.
Il n'y a pas de chasteté dans la vie.
There's no chastity in life.
Il y a pas.
There's not.
Tu ne peux pas faire confiance en personne.
You cannot trust anybody.
Il suffit d'un regard et c'est fini.
Only one gaze and it's finished.
Juste un regard.
Just one gaze.
Elle est ensorcelée.
The Mataji is hypnotized
Pas comme si tout allait bien.
and she speaks to you just like everything was going well.
Elle se fâche plus, elle est super
Now
sympa.
she's not angry, she's super sweet.
Elle a été déjà
She was already
kidnappée par quelqu'un.
kidnapped by someone.
C'est des symptômes.
These are symptoms.
Pas du tout.
It's not so simple.
Maya est puissante.
Maya is powerful.
Elle est très puissante.
Maya is very powerful. But why?
Prabhupada dit,
Prabhupada says
Krishna peut nous protéger.
Krishna can protect us. The Guru can protect us.
Parce que Krishna, c'est le gourou vivant.
Because Krishna is the original
Pour ça,
Guru.
on ne remplace pas Krishna.
That's why we don't replace
C'est un
Krishna.
petit instrument, c'est un service.
We're just a small instrument. It's a service to the spiritual master. We're not there to exploit people. We're there to do a service. And our disciples, we serve them.
On sert Krishna.
We serve Krishna through the disciples.
On voit tous ces gourous.
We see all these gurus who fell down. They thought they were.
On voit, par exemple,
We see, for example,
des personnes comme Bhagavan, ils jetaient
persons like Bhagavan. They were throwing the remnants, and the disciples were going to eat it.
tout le monde.
In front of everybody, they were doing that.
C'est pas des choses comme ça.
But you don't do things like that.
On voit par ce genre de
We see through these
personnes,
actions that the person is already falling down.
mais c'est pas évident.
But it's not easy.
Si on n'a pas
If we don't have the experience of pure devotion, we cannot know who is a pure devotee. It's not possible.
et même parfois,
And even sometimes,
Radha et Krishna, ils cachent.
Radha and Krishna, they hide the nature of the Vaishnavas.
On voit avec l'histoire
Even
de-
the Vaishnavas, they cannot see.
Il y a des divertissements.
There are pastimes who describe this.
Donc, soyez
So,
patient et plein de
Be
détermination.
patient and be full of determination.
Essayez d'être fort
Try to be strong
et pas être faible.
and not be weak.
La force, ça vient comment? L'humilité. Quand vous pensez être
The
fier,
strength
vous
comes
savez
to humility.
que
If you think to be
sur le
proud,
sac, par exemple, là,
then, for
vous
example,
avez gâché votre vie.
you will waste your life.
Vous faites mal au maître.
And you hurt the spiritual master, to all the Guru Parampara.
Dans ce moment-là,
Because at this point, the spiritual master, he knows that you won't attain perfection in this life. That you'll come back, he won't be able to do anything for you.
l'humilité.
Humility,
Vous êtes là pour changer.
you're there to change, to become persons of love, not of hatred.
Changer.
Change.
C'est ce qu'on vous tout le monde vous demande.
Everyone will ask you that. Krishna will ask you that. He's your friend.
Ne changez pas.
If you don't change,
Krishna peut pas être dans
Krishna cannot be in the heart of a person
l'avidité.
who has greed, lust. It's not possible. Thank you very much.